ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ.
Hmm? Sorry?
ಹಲೋ.
Yes, Harshita.
ಹಾ ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
Yeah. So, okay, last class we had seen this reversal entries in park and post, and let us go here part payment and money. So today, so how we can do these activities we'll learn. Okay, a simple processes. So what is this part payment? So when you're making a payment to the vendors or customers when you're receiving, sometimes we may book like say for example vendor invoice. We'll take example. Vendor invoice. So we book expenses like some expenses debit 1,000 rupees and the payment, sorry, vendor credit 1,000 rupees. This is what we do generally. So till now we have seen how to make a payment of 1,000 rupees. Suppose sometimes we have to pay less amount, like only part payment we have to make. Then what we do? So just example, vendor account debit, only 400 rupees I'll make it. So another 600 is due, okay, to the bank. So this is what we call it as part payment. How we can do this? So there are two things with it. One is we call partial payment. Okay, another one is residual payment. So the part payment can be done in these two ways. One is partial and residual payment. Okay. So what is this partial payment and what is this residual payment? I'll show practically, then I'll give the explanation. Say for example, let us go here and check out the open items of vendors. That is FBL1M. And I execute with my company code BF121. I have some vendors, if something is there. Only one vendor is there. Okay, only one vendor. We have two entries. One is for 3,000 rupees, another is for 2,000 rupees and 1,000. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. So how we can make a part payment. So the part payment, first I'm going to show you this partial payment. So we know the payment can be done in F-53. They say this vendor payment can be done in F-53. So I go to the normal procedure, just what we are doing till now, the same way I go. Dimension vendor part payment. Part payment. So the amount which, as I mentioned, I'm going to make. So out of this 1,001 rupees, 1,001 rupees, I'll make a payment of 400 and only 400 rupees. 1,001 rupee bill is there, right? This one here. I take up this one 901, this one, and I take up only one part. So enter the vendor number here as usual. The same this one is process is same. But when it comes to selection of open item, process open item, so whenever you have this three G, like three items are there. Here you can see that we have three items. That means we have to make a payment of three. So what's happening here? If you notice here, system selected all three. Assigned means all three. 3,000, 1,001, 2,000. Total 6,001 rupee, but we are paying only four. So whenever you have this multiple invoices, trust which are whenever you have this this one. So what, how you can select? See, if it is in blue, it is assigned. That means it's considered for payment. If you just double click on this, so see here, the 3000 has gone out. So only 3001 is there. That means if you double click, it will become black. If it again double click, it will convert into blue. That will consider for the payment. So whenever you're making a payment of any invoices which you don't want, which you want, you have to be keep in blue. That is, it is considered. If you don't want to, just double click, it will convert into black. Then it will not be considered. Now I'm making a payment to the 1001 invoice of 400 rupees and still 601 rupee difference is there. If I try to simulate, system will not allow because it's the difference should be zero always. Now, as I'm having a plan to make only payment of 400, I go to this part payment, that is partial payment tab here. Click on that. Now we have to tell the system, say against this 1001 rupees, you just double click on this. It will take amount, how much we are making payment. So system is considering this 1001 rupee bill is there, but the payment amount is only 400. We are making a payment amount only 400. That's it. And simulate this. Now you see the bank is getting 400 credit and the Shweta mistake is getting 400 debit. Save this. But how it's going to be reflecting vendor ledger? That's important. So I just make a refresh of this ledger. So now you have to notice one thing here. So 1001 rupee is still there. That bill is not cleared. But there is a credit entry of 400. Sorry, debit entry of 400. So this 1001 rupee has got paid with 400. How you come to know that it's paid against this? So there is an option in the layout change. You can go to layout change and you can find payment reference. So the payment date, you can click next so that it will find payment. Yes, this you find. So you can find out, and if you click on place, it will find other whichever has payment word. So I'm pushing this side. This I'm pushing this side. So it came here. Copy this. I got the payment reference here, but I should get the reference number. Why it's not coming? Did I miss anything? Yes, payment reference. Okay. So let me double click on this. See, this is the payment. Actually, we have to get that here also. We can get the number here. Here we'll get, okay, this payment is made for this, or else you can double click on this. And you can see a payment for 1901. 1901. This is the payment. So that means system is showing that this 400 rupees, that 150000 is there, like 150. This document number is paid for against this 1901. That is mentioned within this. If you double click on this, you can find out. This is partial payment. So what's happening here in the partial payment? System generates new document for payment made, but invoice document will not be clear. It will not get clear. Okay? So that's what. So it is there, still there it is. The 1001 is also there. Against that 400 is also there. Both are in open item status. This is partial payment. Now we make a part payment. Part payment again, part payment with the concept of residual payment. Let us try to understand what is this residual payment. So we are doing the part payment only. Part payment means, see, now we have this open item, right? So for this 2000 rupees, I'm going to make a payment of 600 rupees. Against this 2000, I'll make a part payment of 6000, but I use a different method, residual payment. How system is going to work? Let us see. So let us use the same thing, same data. I use the same vendor, same bank, but amount is 600 I'm making out of 2000 rupees. Go to process open item. We get all four, including that 400 what we paid because it's still open item. And 1001 is there. I don't want this. I don't want this 400. And I don't want this 3,000. So now 2000 rupees amount, I'm making a payment of 600. So last time I used this partial payment. This time I use residual payment. I use this. So click on this residual item. And just like a last item, last time, you just double click here. Last time when I double click, you notice that what has happened. So it has taken how much amount we are making payment. That means it has taken 400 rupees. Okay, out of 1001 rupees, it's taking 400 rupees we are paying. That is how it was taking. That is how it was taking. Now, but this time residual payment, it is taking what is the pending amount. We are making a 600 payment, but it's taking only pending. How much is pending if you use residual? Let me simulate this. And there are three items. What is that? 600 we are making payment and it's getting clear this 2000 and there is a blue color. Whenever you have this blue color, you have to double click on that. You have to enter this vendor part payment residual. Say this. I'm going to show you how does this differentiate from partial payment. I tell you. I refresh this ledger now. See, let us have an copy of this and now let me refresh this. See now here, it has not generated any additional entry. It's still for the same, the 4 line items only. Here also 4, here also 4. But what is the change you have to notice here? So this for partial payment, what it has made for 1001 rupee, it has generated 400 rupees against that payment. That is, it's generated a new document against the invoice. It has not cleared the invoice. But for a residual payment, what is happening? It's generated a new document for remaining amount. That means it's cleared the 2000 rupees invoice. Only remaining pending amount, it's kept open. It's kept open. That means its residual item is going to, the difference is system clears open invoice and generates new document for remaining amount pending. This is the main difference between residual and partial payment. Is it clear?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So this completes this reversal entries and part payment. And let us see this dunning. What is this part? What is dunning? So the meaning of dunning, I tell you. The done means done. The meaning of done means reminder for payment. See, generally, right? So if you're having a credit card, if you're having a phone bill or something, if you have some bills or something, now you get a message or letter so saying that this is the pending, you are not yet get paid or something like you have to pay on this before, like this, all this. This is also scenario in businesses, like these customers and whatever we sell and other things. Generally, customers, if they don't pay on time, okay, if they don't pay on time, what's going to happen? You have to remind them. That means if, like, say, for example, if a Gayatri wants to pay money to me, if she does not pay, I have to wait for 1 or 2 days, then I need to remind her, okay? So, Gayatri, you are not yet paid. So how we can do that? How we can take that? See, if you have 1 or 2 customers, yes, I can remember who has to go and what has to give. If I have thousands of customers, and in the thousands of customers, how many people has to give? What's the date they have to give? What's the overdue? All these things is very difficult to remind, right? And to check also, to send a reminder. So for that purpose, to send the reminder, we have a program called Dunning here. The Dunning is designed to generate letters to vendors as well as customers, not only customers, because sometimes vendors has to give money due to some returns we have made, but they have not yet paid like that. Vendors and customers based on due date. So it's designed to generate letters to the vendors and customers based on the due date for reminding of payment. Let us see the examples of this customers. Customer example. You see, that's the same is going to apply for vendors as well. That this part payment also same is going to apply for customers as well. Remember that partial, the above methods applies to customers same. The running also, we'll see that. How we can do that. First, actually, this is a new system, right? Actually, the old system is not working, so I came to this new system. And this system, let me create payment terms. Okay, payment terms OBB8. You already know what is payment terms. We already understood that. I'm going to create a new payment term because in this system the payment term is not there. So let me create Z001 and sales customer like 2 days, like 11 days due. Simple one I'll make it 11 days due. Z010 I'm creating. I can create any payment terms, that's my choice. So here 11 days due means customer has to pay 11 days once 11 days is done. Or else let me make it for simpler example, 10 days I'll make it. And the document date, the base date is document that dates has to be calculated on the document date. And here I'll mention it. Now I'm not using any discount or something. Just I'm taking 10 days as a due because it's required to calculate the dates. See, if I say, for example, you have to give money. Gayatri has to give money or Arshita has to give money. So you buy a material from me and immediately go home. And if I send a letter to you immediately, how does you feel? It does not. How do you feel? If you don't feel good about my company, so if I want to feel good about my company, I should have a proper procedure, like 10 days or something, like procedures and all. So for that, payment terms is important. Now I'm going to check an open item of a customer. What's the take out to check open items of customer? Arshita? Arshita, you there? Gayatri, what did you go to check open items of customer?
Sir, FBL 5N.
Arshita, I think you talk, you are speaking, but I'm not getting. You may please make a chat if you are not. I am not able to get your voice. That's the reason. Yes, FPL 5N. For my company, I have only one customer. I have one open item. It's already due. It was not having any payment terms. Now I'm going to, so I know, I remember that you have all, I have idea about payment terms because we discussed about payment terms at the time of automatic payment program. I don't need to give any discuss, explanation about payment terms right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, so I go and assign this payment terms to this customer. The customer is 4000006. Let me go to BP and find the customer. This is the customer number. Enter. Go to this and I go to edit, but edit form and FLV and 00, sorry, FLCU 00. Here I have company code data and in this I had a customer payment transaction. Customer payment transaction. I use this payment terms Z010. Z010 customer 10 days due. Now I book some invoices for this customer. I book some invoices for this customer. So in FB70, FB70, I book some invoices. So let me switch the company code BI121 and customer. Amount, I'll mention 1000 rupees and 1000 rupees here and save. But before that, if you say take here, payment terms, the payment terms is net 10 days dues is updated for this. So I use today's date. Okay, that is one thing. For the next one, I'm going to use the date. Now it's 24th, right? I use 10th. 10/8. So I'm going to the backdated, okay? 10/8 I'll use. Just assume that we booked this invoice on that date only. 2000 rupees I'll fix and simulate and save. Next one, I'll book as on 15th 8. 15/8. So some backdated entries I'm doing. So 3000 rupees and simulate and save. So now let me check out the ledger here, the customer ledger, FPL 5N. We have 4 line items here. So remember here 3000 is already overdue because you can see the due date red, and you can see another one is 2000 rupees also overdue because it's a red. Other two are not this one, that is not due. So that means I want to send a reminder. Overdue means I want to send a reminder. So now you see that there is one is 10th booked on 20th, another one is 10th. So now I'm going to add that layout which we say. Actually, that layout is not there here. I'm going to change the layout here. That is, remember the payment date and the and also due date. We have this payment date and due date. So if you notice here, the payment net due date, it has to be get paid before 20th. It's 3000 rupees. And another one is it has to get paid on 20th also. And these two already become overdue for. That is, I booked on 10th, okay, with the payment terms. So it's already 10 days over, it's overdue. Other two are like still we have this 3, 9 and 25, 8. Tomorrow also we can do. That means what is that? So now we have a program called Dunning here in SAP. So whenever we run that program, when we run that program, okay, system automatically generates the letters. The system automatically generates the letters to the vendors, okay, sorry, to the customers of like, okay, you have these dues. You have to make a payment on this. So let me take you to that. So there's a T code called FBMP. Simple T code. Just like a procedure you have to create. Go to new procedure here and enter the procedure code. Like I'm going to enter the procedure code like um, B-2021. That's my company code procedure only. So I mentioned dummy procedure for B-21. There's options for this. There's an option. There are dunning in intervals in days. That means, see, this program, whatever it runs, if you have 1,000 customers, it will go and check the overdue items based on the criteria, whatever we give here, and it will give the report. Okay, these are the customers has to be removed. Get us send a reminder. They have not paid after the overdue also. So how we can do that? Here is the. So there's a dunning in intervals is there. What is the dunning in intervals? Like I'm setting up the engine here. Our system should check the like open invoices, due items. So intervals. Dunning in intervals means for how many days the system should run this program. That means I'm giving every 10 days the system should run this program and check out the due dates. Every 10 days it has to generate the letters for the overdue. Next one is number of dunning levels. How many times the dunning has to be done for an invoice? Like, for example, this is overdue, 3000 rupees. So I can send 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I cannot keep sending. Okay, 4 times. I can send one dunning reminder for one invoice 4 times, or else up to 9 times we can send, but I'm fixing it 4 times. So its third one is not required. Minimum arrear days in arrears. So minimum arrears in days, I'll come to give 1 day here, or else 2 days. What does it mean? See, the two minimum arrears means, so it has to at least 2 days older invoice to get selected. That means to consider as a overdue. So for example, see if the first one is 20th 8, it does not have any payment terms. It was created before the payment terms is assigned. You can check out here. If you double click, they don't have any payment terms here. For this, we have the payment terms. That's the reason it's taking 10 days. So now, so this one, I'm asking at least it should be 2 days invoice older. If it's an immediate payment also, at least the system should check for 2 days, wait for 2 days, then it has to consider as an at least it should be 2 days older of invoice booking from the document date. And the line item grace period. The grace period means I'm going to add one. What is the meaning of one? The grace period. See, it may become overdue. The best example is this one, 25/8. So tomorrow we have this one, and if I send if I send a reminder tomorrow only, it does not look good, right? So at least we have to wait till night, or else one day extra we can give. Then we have to consider, okay, you have to send a reminder. That means once it has become overdue, at least it should be 2 days older. At least it should be 1 day older. That means after becoming like one is 2 days, this one is there, and after becoming overdue, it should have 1 day additional. 1 day additionally we can give it. That's what. Next, you have to select standard transactions in the dunning, and special transactions is not required. And here you should select. You can enter your company code only, BI-21, or else you can enter 0001, the standard company code. So save it, not saving. So then you have to go for dunning levels here. See, we have entered 4 levels here. And the second one, this is the first page, and the second page is this one. So there is days in arrears, like each 10 days I mentioned, right? Okay, 11 to 21. Like that means every time, every level, each 10 days it will generate one letter. And select always done for all. And interest calculation, print all items is not required. You can select print all items also, or else you don't require to select this one, only select always done. Always done means every time when you do that, if it is due, you have to consider. So then if you have any charges, sometimes, okay, you to send the letters, we may do the charges. Click on this charges, enter on INR, and for the level 1, for level 2, for 3, and 4 levels we have, right? So first time if I send 100 rupees sales charge, a reminder. Second time if I send 200 rupees. Third time 400. Fourth time I may send 1000 rupees. That means to send the letter reminder, if I send that, I will charge this much. And the minimum amounts. What is this minimum amounts is required? See, as I mentioned, so like for example, sometimes some like due to some fractions, you may get like 50 paisa, 1 rupee, 2 rupees differences in your customer account as a due. If you send a 2 rupees reminder letter, how it's going to be look? I'll get from RBL bank. Okay. 45 paisa credit card. I have closed it. Actually, I have a credit balance of 45 paisa. They keep sending the message for 45 paisa. So you have you have credit balance, you can withdraw this 45 paisa, 45 paisa. I closed the credit card account long back. Like that, if you send like that, it does not look good, right? Like here we can fix. If you are to send a letter, at least it should be minimum amount should be 100 rupees for all levels. And go back and save this. Go back and save. So the running procedure is created. So after this creation, what you should do? After this creation, what you should do? You have to add in text. That means the letters. So you cannot send simply letter, right? There should be in format, letters, what items has to be picked up, and how the format should be there. All these things will be there, right? That and also we should also consider that we can do it in this text. Okay, that we can do it in this text. So here a little bit tricky. Okay, that we will see in the next class. I tell you why. This meeting is going to be end up into 1 minute. Okay, so I have not activated that go to meeting. So we'll continue this tomorrow. I'll take a little bit extra time tomorrow. However, we are going very smoothly every day. So please try to be online, even if you don't get hectic of a long time of hours of listening to this. Okay, it's very going quickly, and we can finish it also quickly. Okay, I'll continue this tomorrow by revising because I want to revise this. That's very much important. That means we have to revise these levels, whatever I mentioned, right? I want to retell all these things like dunning levels, charges, and other things and all. Okay. I share this video and we'll meet tomorrow, probably at 11 a.m. I'll confirm the time. Gayatri and Arshita. Okay. But I'll extend a little bit extra time, maybe 1 or 1.5 hour. We can extend. We can do. Okay. Gayatri and Arshita, clear?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yes. Arshita, is it clear? ಹರ್ಷಿತಾ ನೀವು ಫ್ರೀ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು 3-3:30 ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ವಿತ್